Hey everyone, and welcome back to Drawing Guidance Tutorials. In this video, you're going to learn how to draw Charmeleon from Pokemon. Alright, so right here I have the outline of Charmeleon. Not really much to talk about, alright? Now if you notice this part over here looks a little bit weird, don't worry about it. Once I add in the colors, it should look fine, alright? Now, what do we need to discuss about Charmeleon is basically just this part right here. Basically, we still have the normal human structure: head, the body, the torso down here, the hands, legs, and of course for Charmeleon, we'll have the tail, just like Charmander and Charizard. Okay, so yeah, that's basically all we have to discuss about this. So basically its tail connects on to this belly part over here, and its tail is on fire. Yeah, that's basically it. Alright, so yeah, now if you notice over here the layer editor portion right here, we have two layers. Alright, now this layer is for me, so we're going to dim it a little bit. Alright, now there are two layers over here. So basically if you're doing this on a device, um, you'll have this layer. This is going to be like a default layer. You should have at least one layer. You're going to create another layer. So in total you should have two layers right here. Now if you're doing this on paper and you want to follow my method, what you have to do is simply draw either a dot or a cross lightly, alright, so that when you're connecting the lines you can kind of erase it and it won't kind of smudge your paper with that darkened pencil. Like the pencil ink is the the pencil lead, right? So if you press too hard and you try to erase it, it will create that black smudge. So you don't want that. So make sure that your pencil is sharp, so that when you draw it, you can draw it lightly, and when you erase it to connect the lines together, it should not have any black smudges on the paper or anything. Alright, but of course I recommend you guys to actually do this drawing on a device, preferably on Sketchbook, which is basically almost everywhere. It's free, so yeah, don't spend any money. So yeah, let's get right onto it then. So this layer right here that I have is basically to place the dots, and this layer right here, the bottom layer, is where we're going to draw the lines. So okay, although I know that this layer you're going to delete it, alright, because if you're seeing this, the masterpiece right here, there aren't any dots or any crosses or anything. So this layer at the end, we're going to delete it, alright, and this layer is well going to be your masterpiece layer. But still, I mean, as a beginner, I'd really recommend you to have this layer, right? It really helps you to draw it. So we're going to start now. When drawing the dots, I would actually be using a paintbrush, or actually any kind of brush that is big, not too big but slightly big, like around this size right here. Okay, visible to see the dot. I wouldn't recommend you use such a, you can't even see the point right here, right? This point right here, can you guys see? Or you press multiple times. Okay, now paintbrush is, well, of course, the best choice because it is dark and is a perfect amount of size. So yeah, yeah, let's get around to it then. Alright, so first we're going to start off with doing this part. Alright, it's basically going to be a U shape over here. Okay, it's basically going to come down like this, and this part over here is going to extend downwards all the way until down here. So basically going to create a curve over here like this. Now if you notice over here, I kind of did another turn over here. You can do this, or you can just make it a curved line going in this direction right here. Okay, but make sure that your curve isn't too big. For example, like this. Okay, it should just be slightly curved like this. Alright, okay, so next we're gonna move on to doing the eyes. Okay, from over here you're gonna bring it down, okay, just slightly. It's curved. Alright, then you're gonna make a big U shape like this over here. Okay, put this point on here. You're going to bring it down, extend it a little bit, and from this point you're basically going to create a curved line. Now this curve over here can maybe be extended until about over here, but I wouldn't recommend you to go below, like somewhere over here, because you need to create 1, 2 and 3 layers right here. So make sure that it's big enough. All right, okay, so from this point you're going to extend it down a little bit more. Okay, make sure that it's curving downwards. All right, it's not a straight line, it's slightly curving. All right, okay, and you're basically going to make this part right here another. This is basically going to be towards the top part. So basically, when you open, if you just open up your mouth, you have the top and the bottom. So of course the top is going to be bigger, and below over here is basically the chin. All right, so from this point you're going to bring it up like this, and basically you can either have this as a straight line until over here, or you can have them as a slightly curved line going in this direction. Now for me, I use the curved part like this. Okay, but it depends. If you're going to use curved for the top, you're going to have to use curved for the bottom. All right, so from this point you're going to bring it up, and you're going to bring it down over here. Basically this is you're trying to show that the mouth is open. That's basically what you're trying to do. So now you're not going to extend it all the way until here. You're going to bring it down a little bit, just slightly, well, it should be slightly somewhere over here. Okay, now remember I said if this was going to be curved like this, you got to curve it downwards like this too. Okay, so next we're going to bring it down. It can be straight, it can be curved. Alright, so basically you have the mouth opening up already. That's good. Alright, next we're going to bring it down. Okay, and you want to kind of just bring it up like this. So from over here you can try to add another point. So this part is going to be a straight line down here, and you can just connect them both like this. Remember, it's going to be a curved line and not a straight line. Alright, okay, so now okay, now we're going to stop over here right now, and we're going to continue on with this point right here. I know it's going to be a jump, but yeah, okay. Now actually you guys kind of have to plot the points along the video too. So you guys have to kind of plot the points while going through, and basically once, for example, I'm dividing this out. So the head, so once we are finished with the head outline, which is basically there's somewhere around over here, I'll actually give you guys some time to pause the video and to kind of take down the lines. The lines are basically going to be taking down this faded translucent lines over here. Alright, so yeah, you don't have to draw them on the spot right now. You can just take down the points, and once we finished on the head, and give you guys some time to pause the video, switch the layers, and then use these lines to connect the points. Alright, so you're gonna move on to this point right here again. So going back to the start, the U shape over here. Next we're gonna bring this down. Okay, next, okay, for this point and this point, if you want, you can try to just make them the same. I mean, if you want. Okay, for me, I try to make them the same. They look, to me, they look about the same according to the rules. So yeah, okay, basically the point where it comes down, if you want, you can try to make them the same. I'm not saying that this is compulsory. Alright, okay, so from this point you're going to bring it down, and again you're going to create this point right here. It can be a straight line, it can be a curved line, but I'll recommend you to use a curve, because this part is going to be kind of curved, and it's going to curve down like this over here. Alright, okay, so as I was saying just now, you guys can actually pause the video, and let me just get the best angle. Okay, I think this is okay, so just pause the video. Remember to switch the layers. Alright, remember to switch it to the bottom layers, the masterpiece layers, sort of. Alright, so yeah, you can take down the lines. Okay, once you're done with that, okay, assume that you've already taken down the lines. You should have all these lines drawn. Alright, now don't worry if it isn't, according to measurements and all that. It doesn't matter so much. Right, I'm not saying that it's completely useless. All I'm trying to say is that it's not what you're really focusing on. Basically, what you're trying to focus on first, you want to have the main idea of it first. Now, in case you think that you really want to go and change the measurements of it, you want to try and make it the same, then yeah, please do that. Right, so now from this curved line over here, somewhere from the midpoint, it doesn't exactly have to be a midpoint, but somewhere around over here, you're going to extend it down to somewhere about, let's use the ruler. Okay, yeah, so one point should be somewhere around over here. Basically, when when this curve comes down over here. Okay, if you want, you can try to extend it, but I will put one point over here just in case. Alright, so now from this point you're going to bring it down. Okay, and from this point you're going to extend it all the way until down here. Now this point over here, if you want to, you can, or what you can do is that you can just connect it. Alright, you can either just connect it together, or if you want, you can make this dents over here. Alright, but basically from this point will be a straight line, and from this point you can either make it like this, or you can just connect from this point to this point right here. Okay, so it's completely up to you. Now we're going to be doing the claws. Okay, so claws, they have the very it's a very basic shape. Alright, it's basically just like this is like one of the most basic structures. This would be another basic. Now this basically just like overlapping. Alright, so this claw right here overlaps this claw right here. So now from this point, okay, you're going to bring it down to this point. You can either do this, okay, or you can just simply just connect them together, and you're going to make a big curve down here. Okay, next from this point you go and extend it a little bit. Okay, and you're going to make a curved part over here. You're going to do it like this, another curved, and curve like this. Okay, so you should have this shape right here. Alright, and next, simply what you're going to do is that you're going to create a curved line. Okay, a very short curved line from this point right here. You're going to extend it. Now this, you're going to bring it down over here. I'll recommend you guys to use a straight line for this. For this, again, you're going to use a straight line to connect it. Alright, basically like if you really want, draw a line, and you should have a triangle right here. Alright, and of course the U shape. Now I kind of mentioned this part over here in my Bulbasaur video, so basically using the same concepts. Alright, okay, from over here you're going to bring it up a little bit over here, curved line of course, and you're going to make a curved shape to it connects like this. Okay, so you guys can pause the video. Remember to switch the layers to the bottom layer or your drawing layer, and yeah, take down the translucent lines. Okay, so once you're done with that, alright, so once we're done with that, we are going to go on to doing the the right hand. Alright, so we did the left hand. Okay, now we're going to do the right hand. Alright, so again the same concepts. Alright, now over here you can either do the going up like this, or if you want, you can just extend to this point right here and make a connection like this. Okay, so basically what I'm trying to say is that from this point you can either go down like this and go up, like basically you're trying to like switch the curve rotation. Right, so one goes like this and the other just switches rotation and goes like this, or you can just simply make them the same, up to you. All right, so this line is going to connect on to over here. Okay, remember not to draw it too long, because if you draw it too long, then your tail is going to be somewhere over here, which means that your feet have to be moved down, and it creates all sorts of complication. Right, now for this is going to be quite okay, it's not going to be easy as the previous one. Right, so from this point you're going to create a curve. Okay, you're going to extend it down. You're going to make a line until about over here. Again, you're going to extend it. You're going to bring it up, and you're going to curve. So basically, and over here. So simply it's just like this, a curved over here, brings it down, curved, then becomes a straight line. You can either have this as a straight and straight, or you can just have this as a curved line, which will connect to over here, and from this point to this point is going to be a straight line. Now I recommend you guys to actually do this part first, because this is going to be the longest claw. So basically this claw right here is actually going to like consider the others. All right, so from a point between these two, okay, if you want to maybe create a point over here, you're going to make sure that they're both straight. Okay, they're going to extend it, and these two connect, and you should have something like this. Alright, a straight line, straight, straight, and curved like this. Alright, then you should have done this. Now from this point you're going to connect on, we'll actually be connecting on to this point right here, not to this point, to this point. Alright, slightly below. Now this point, we're going to break it up. Okay, you're going to have one very long line, and you're going to have another short line. So we have two additional claws right now. So from this point you're going to bring it up. Okay, you can see that the curve over here. Okay, you can either make this into a straight line like this, or you can curve it like what I've done over here. Over here again, you're going to use the same concept of curving. If you see everything, there's going to be a curved, so similarly this is going to be a curve too. You're going to bring it down, and show this. You could consider it to be like a rectangle. Okay, you can just consider it to be a rectangle. Alright, now this claw, simple, you're going to bring it up slightly. Alright, you're going to create, basically what you're trying to do, this shape over here is trying to create something like this, but it's pointing towards the right side. Alright, so again, the curve from over here, it goes down, and it basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to create a triangle. Right, a triangle, but it has a curved base, assuming that this the base is going to have a curved base. Alright, so hold on, not yet, don't pause the video just yet. We're going to finish up the whole basically until over here. So from this point you're going to extend it. Okay, you can make it curved. Okay, and you're going to connect it to this point right here. Okay, so hold on, let's get the best. Yeah, or somewhere down here, so I can zoom in a bit more. Okay, so yeah, remember to switch the layers, pause the video, and take down the translucent lines. Okay, once you are done with that, you should have the head completed, just the outline of the head. But basically also leads on to the eyes, the hands, both hands. Okay, we're almost done. Alright, now we need to do the legs and the belly, which connects on to the fiery tail. Alright, so you should have this point right here. Okay, we're going to be making use of this point right here a lot. Alright, so for this point, what you're going to do is you're going to create a U shape. Okay, let's stop it over here. Okay, you're going to create a U shape like this. Like if you want, you can mark out the height. So okay, I'm not sure if I'm pretty sure that most of you should have actually heard of this graph drawing, right? Basically where you draw graphs. Alright, so basically that's why, for example, this curve right here. Okay, think of it as like a graph, a smiley face, or a frowny face, a frowny curve. All right, that's basically why I kind of put this point right here. It's basically just to tell just to indicate how high the curve is going to be. So I don't want it to be somewhere down here. Basically this will be too high. Also I don't want it to be too low. For example, like this, it's too low. I want it to make sure that it goes broad like this, but also not too high. So apparently this place over here was good. Alright, okay, now you're going to kind of create like an oval. Alright, so now as I mentioned at the very start of the video, when I was talking about the characteristics of Charmeleon, this line right here is going to connect onto this line. Okay, now okay, again, because of the lake over here, and also because it's drawn in a specific kind of degree, that's why you could you can consider this as there's a tail underneath down here, which is basically being blocked by the lake over here. So that's basically what I tell myself. So every time when I'm doing a um any degree drawing, alright, I always tell myself that at some points there's going to be a point, okay, where something is going to overlap something, right? So in this case, the leg overlaps the tail, alright? So now, very important, alright? This point is actually very important to completing the whole thing, alright? So this point right here, what you're going to do is you're going to use a curve ruler, okay? Okay, you can use any kind. If you're doing this on paper, then yeah, I would recommend you have some, stationery, some tools. Okay, now basically for me I did something over here like this. Just okay, hold on. First, let's break it up. All right, I know actually that's a perfect example. All right, this whole thing that you're gonna do way too long, so break it up. All right, so one point over here and one point over here. Now this point can be a little bit below. It depends on how big you want the leg to be. Okay, don't worry, you don't have to plot this point yet. If you want to, you can. Basically these 2 points would be how big your leg's gonna be. But basically what we need right now is just this point right here, and if you really want, you can just include this point, and so wherever the curve ruler continues, it will be your next point right here. So that's basically how you do it. Alright, so curve ruler from this point to this point, alright, this point to this point, and very importantly, you kind of want to extend it a little bit, but make sure it's not going in a straight line like that. Make sure that it's curved, okay, so that it continues on. All right, and note that this part right here does not reach to the end. It will stop somewhere around over here. So it depends. Now this part, there's no actual way to show you. I mean, yeah, I did show you, okay, using the curve ruler, but there's no actual like degree or measurement. All right, this is basically on how you use the curve ruler to kind of connect the points. All right, but you should have a curved line like this where it's a little bit of straight over here. It's kind of straight, slightly curved, it goes down, this part's kind of straight, and it should stop somewhere along over here. That's about like 3/4 of tail, or 1/3, or like a third of the tail right here. So yeah, okay, now from this point right here, what you're gonna do, so you're gonna bring it down. Okay, so from this point right here, you're gonna bring it down slightly, and it should be this point right here. Okay, and so basically this point is going to be curving this way, and if you reach this point right here, it's going to curve the opposite way and reach this point. Okay, so yeah, okay, I know this is kind of confusing. Okay, so yeah, just pause the video and try and take down the lines. All right, just from the dots that you've plotted, try to draw the lines. All right, so remember to switch the layers, and yeah, pause the video. Okay, so I hope that it wasn't too confusing. Okay, I hope. But actually, yeah, doing this part right here that connects on to the tail over here, to me, um, okay, to me that's one of the most confusing parts. All right, the other part is doing the fire. All right, but during the fire, I've got something to help you remember or to help you teach you how to draw the fire. All right, so from this point right here, you want to decide how big you want your leg to be. Okay, so for example, in this case, it's going to be this long. So make sure that it's big. All right, you don't want a skinny leg. All right, now from this point, you're going to curve it like this. Okay, you're going to bring it down. You can either make it a straight line or you can curve it like this. Okay, but if you're going to curve it, then make sure that it isn't too big. Right, now this, what you can do is simply just curve it like this. Again, make sure that it isn't too curved, or you can just draw a straight line, up to you. Alright, now as I mentioned before, the most common curves. Alright, the most common fundamentals of doing this kind of clause, a curved line over like this. Okay, it will always extend down somewhere. Okay, just a little bit extension. Again, that will be a curved line. Okay, and towards the end point over here, you have to connect onto the rest of the leg. So there's going to be a curved sharp down here like this. Okay, next, for this part right here, again, it's going to extend below, and you're going to have a curve, extend below, and a straight line. Okay, so next, from this point right here, you're going to curve it. Okay, let me just okay, now this point is kind of both connected. Alright, so this point, this point, this point to this point. Okay, let me just plot down the points again. Okay, so now from this point to this point, you're gonna have a curve. Okay, mark it down until over here. So you're gonna have a curve that continues. Okay, now from this point, it's going to curve the opposite direction. Alright, it's going to curve upwards instead of going downwards. Alright, until about somewhere around over here. Okay, it goes like this. Okay, you're not gonna make it to somewhere about over here. Okay, so basically you know it's gonna be like an S shape, right? So it goes up. Okay, it's also the same. And about over here, okay, somewhere about over here, it's gonna go the opposite way. It's gonna connect on to this point right here. Okay, so remember that this line, this curved line right here, is gonna be bigger than this. Alright, just remember that because it's terms of perspective. Alright, now for this, basically where the tail is connecting, you will have your second feet. Alright, so you're gonna make a curve down like this until this point right here, and from here you're gonna make it go down again, the same thing. Alright, so you're gonna go up, you're gonna go down, the basic shapes. Alright, now the only thing different about this is that instead from over here curving, it's curving from one point. But if you notice, it's kind of like the same over here. So yeah, these are all kind of like the fundamentals, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that it's always going to be curving from this point over here. Sometimes it can be separated like this, right? But again, this part is still going to be curved, and so it's going to be like this, a straight line, and it's also going to be like this. Okay, now it doesn't matter if it's going to be straight or curved line, as long as it's following kind of like the same thing. And then curved, curved, it connects, same thing. Alright, so yeah, you want to add this point right there. Next, again, supposed to be a curved line. So remember, use a curved ruler when doing this. Okay, again, another curved line. And another basic shape is kind of like the kidney, but well, with a sharp point right here. So now basically what I think of this is basically the U shape. Alright, so now it's kind of pointing towards this way, so yeah, it's going to be something like this. And you want to insert the depth over here to see how high you want to make this toe be. And yeah, you're going to basically connect them. Okay, so okay, so yeah, you guys can pause the video and take down the feet. I might switch the layer. Okay, so once we're done with that, we can now, okay, this one way kind of already connected on, okay, because as earlier mentioned, this tail should connect on to somewhere about over here. Okay, now from wherever this point you're gonna get, you're gonna extend it upwards. Okay, alright, and so it's gonna connect on. Okay, but instead of using this point right here, this point is going to create a curve like this. Alright, and make sure that there's some depth over here. Again, you're going to extend it a bit more. I mean, really big extension, right? So increasing, like double of it. Okay, and you're going to create another point right here. So you should have an kind of open space right here. Of course, you don't have the fire yet, so you should just have this open space right here. Okay, yeah, so pause the video and take down the tail first. Okay, once you are done with that, now the fire. Okay, so I don't know if you guys have noticed this, okay, because it's not common, okay, but basically fire, you know, the base isn't going to be sharp. Alright, basically fire, it kind of goes upwards, so the okay, basically the base of the fire is going to be broad, and when it goes up to the top, it's going to create sharp lines like this. Okay, now this sharp patterns right here completely up to you. Alright, you want to create downwards pattern, you want to create upwards pattern, but this is going to save because it's both upwards and downwards. Okay, see, if it's going like this, it's going to be downwards. Can you guys see it's going downwards? However, if you look at it a different way, over here is going upwards. So it's kind of like a 2-in-1 is the safer option, right? Just to this kind of triangular motion. Okay, remember that you can actually add in different length, right? So you don't have to actually use a ruler to kind of do this part. It's kind of just making sure that the bottom over here, make sure that you're gonna bronze, make sure there's gonna be bronze. Alright, occasionally over here you're gonna add like sharp points, what I did over here, so it's this kind of inversed. Alright, so one's going downwards, the other one's kind of going like this. Okay, they're kind of inversed. Okay, so next one you bring it up over here. Okay, let's do this one first. So this point over here, you're gonna curve it like this. You're gonna curve, you're gonna make just make sharp lines, right? So once you have about 2 or 3 of this triangular sharp points, what you're going to do is that from this point you're going to extend it. Okay, note that when you're going to extend it, it means that this part should be somewhat about the middle. Okay, like for example, this fire right here, this sharp points right here, this is like the middle of the fire. Okay, so make sure that you also have that kind of thing, right? So from this point it's going to be towards the left, then this part over here, this part towards the middle, and this part towards over here is going to be towards the right. So yeah, now over here what you're going to do is you're going to make it curved. Okay, basically you're going to be creating curved shafts or like tsunami kind of motion. Alright, now you can add in 5, 6. Okay, make sure that it's in the middle, it doesn't get too big, your canvas is big enough to accommodate all those curves. Alright, next over here I'm going to bring it down. Okay, make sure that's curved. Most of it is going to be curved, especially the top. Now for the bottom is basically kind of like straight lines. Okay, now from this point it kind of connects down. Okay, and yeah, basically what we're going to do now is going to make the triangular motions. Remember, as I said, you can even bring it down a bit more, bring it maybe over here, a bit lower, any sizes. Alright, but yeah, that's basically how you do the fire. Now over here, okay, you want to create a curve. This is optional. Alright, you can just make it a curved to this point right here, or if you want this point, you can make a curve over here, and from this point it's going to be a straight line down. I would kind of recommend you to kind of use what I just said, the curve and straight line down. Alright, that's much better. But basically, yeah, if you're done, okay, so basically what you can do right now is you can just pause the video, okay, and yeah, you can just take it out. Okay, alright, so if you're done with that, okay, we are almost done. Alright, so just bear me a little bit longer, but all we have to do right now is color and do the eyes. Alright, now the eyebrow right here is very simple. Basically just use a curve ruler and kind of do this kind of strokes. Or the eyes, okay, now eyes, you're going to extend it a bit down here, and you're going to make a straight line. Next you're going to curve to this point right here, and you're going to make a curve to this, so leave out a little bit of extension over here. Okay, now for the eyes, it's similar to doing this, right? Because the eyes, they're going to follow the similar pattern, just that except one of them is, because of perspective drawing, it's going to look a little bit different, but they're going to have the same thing, right? So this one is going to be this, okay, this is this is going to be this, and the white space will be the white space over here. Okay, now simply for this eye, it's going to be very simple, because you know the curved line over here is just ample of space to kind of do this curve. Alright, but basically you are done. Alright, I don't think so I'm missing out anything else. Yep, so you're done. Alright, now now for me, I have this, just help myself. Okay, so when you complete your drawing, right, you have two layers. Alright, imagine this imagine this is my drawing layer, and this is my guides layer. Alright, so your drawing, if everything works out, it should be something like this. Okay, you should still see this black spots over here, the dots, fine. Okay, now if you're happy with this drawing or whatever drawing you get and you're happy with it, what you can do is that the guides layer right here, you can go ahead and delete it. Do this only if you are happy with the drawing. If you feel that you know there's still some things that you want to improve, maybe you know you're tired, you want to save your work for tomorrow, then please just unhide the hide the layer, save your file, and when you return back the next day, you should see this. Alright, just that the guides layer is hidden. Alright, basically to hide or unhide layers in this app is the icon button over here, the icon button. Okay, so yeah, let me show you. Find this hide and show layer, hide, show layer. Alright, so alright, okay, let's just delete everything first. Alright, so now if you're happy with it, you should have this. Alright, in your drawing layer, you should have this. Okay, now you're going to create another layer. Okay, now this layer will only be created after you are done with, after you're done and happy with your drawing. Alright, now we're going to move on to this. So we're going to do this layer first. Basically what we have to do right now is color the entity, or in this case Charmeleon. So very simple. Okay, for Charmeleon it's very simple. Of course doing the fire and the belly, that's two different things, but first let's do this. Alright, now you're going to create a red. Okay, let me just check whether yeah, kind of red or orange. All right, so if you want this kind of color, okay, the top of the tail right here. Okay, sorry guys, sorry, my fault. Okay, now sorry, over here I forgot that you are supposed to add. Okay, I always forget this. Alright, I'm not sure why, but whenever I'm doing the drawing, alright, okay, I always forget this part right here. So nothing to worry about. This actually gives me the perfect opportunity to show you guys something. Alright, now when you're going to draw your work, right, you're not going to use a basically you're not going to use a paintbrush to draw this. Alright, you're not going to use a paintbrush to draw the outline. What you're going to use is um you can use something that's a fine tip. Alright, anything that's a fine tip. For example, for me in this app, I'm using the art pencil. Note that I've just renamed it to my favorite, but originally it's called art pencil. Okay, of course you can also use the other pencils like over design pencil. Oh no, I wouldn't recommend this. Okay, now okay, there are some downloadable content in this app. The fine art pencils, I think it is free. All right, you should be able to get it. That's actually quite a good place to start. All right, if you are a beginner, I'll recommend you to download the free art pencil. It should be free. All right, if it's not, then I definitely know for a fact that it is free on a mobile device. So yeah, you can practice it on your mobile device, or I think even tablets too. So yeah, okay, so remember, okay, my mistake to add in this part right here. So this claw will connect to this, so you can basically have 1 2, they're both connected, and 3. All right, so yeah, okay, let's continue on the coloring. Sorry, my mistake. Okay, now you can either have the, as I was saying, you can either have the orange. Oh crap, okay, sorry, wrong layer. Okay, you can either have the orange like this. Okay, you know what, I'll fix this. Alright, but just, okay, sorry, you know what, let me just fix this on the spot right now. Okay, okay, so this layer. Alright, alright, okay, if you guys want, you just skip this part. Alright, okay, but another very common thing that some of us do, alright, and I know this for a fact because when dealing with 2 layers, okay, it's okay, guaranteed that you are going to have some point, alright, maybe not in this drawing, it can be for some other drawing, alright, okay, that you're going to mix up the layers. So for example, the dot layer, you're going to forget to switch the layer and you are going to draw the lines on the dot layer instead of on the masterpiece layer. Alright, so if that happens, there's nothing much I can do about it. Alright, basically you have to kind of undo, and yeah, that's basically it. So now I hope everything's correct again. Okay, sorry, third time's the charm. Alright, so if you want the kind of orange, okay, this kind of orange and red, okay, okay, yeah, so it should be something like this, right? You have 3 white nails down here, 4 white claws, right? Should be white. Okay, you have something like this. Okay, if you guys like this, you can take down the color HSL. Okay, I hope you, I mean, I think some apps should have this HSL, so you can take it down using this app. That's wonderful. Alright, so take it down, or you can also have the red. Basically this is anything that's kind of red. Okay, um not much difference. Okay, there's some slight differences, alright, but it's not one that, you know, will kind of determine or affect everything. It's not like green and blue, alright, no, it's just slightly different. So Yeah, you guys want, you can have this, you can have the other color, doesn't matter. Alright, if you really want, just take down HSL right here. Alright, so for me, you know what, I'm just going to leave it at this color because it doesn't matter. This part right here is not so important. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to do the belly part over here. Okay, let me just move this. We're going to do the belly part over here and the underside over here. Alright, so it's going to be bright yellow, something like this. Alright, let me just place it down first. Yeah, okay, something like this. This should be okay. If you guys want, you can just take down the yellow color. Actually, you don't have to take it down or anything. Alright, it's basically just yellow color. Alright, just go to this color spectrum right here and choose for yellow. That's basically it. If you guys really want, you can try to kind of brighten the yellow, okay, to make it look something like this. Alright, perfectly fine. I'm gonna leave it as this. Alright, looks nice. Now the fire over here is where it gets interesting. Okay, now you're gonna make it, it's still gonna be yellow. Okay, you're gonna have to, of course, you're gonna make it dark. You're gonna do something like this. Alright, it's gonna be towards the orange, yellow. It's gonna be in between. Okay, let me just check it out. Is it? Yeah, okay, it's going something like this. Alright, so make this part, the belly part over here, lighter. Alright, and the fire part where it's going to be darker. Okay, so you guys want to take down the number. Okay, and so for the fire part over here, you can kind of make it orange. Let me just test it out first. Yeah, something like this. Alright, or if you want, you can make it red. Okay, let's try red. Don't worry, I'll show you guys the number. If you guys want, take it down first. Okay, now let's try red. Something, okay, so red seems to be a little bit better. So yeah, let's just leave it with red. Alright, so yeah, go and take it down. Alright, so now we're going to move on to the eyes, right? The last and final part. So the eyes basically something strange. Okay, so I've been watching a lot of the anime, and apparently the eyes, alright, okay, because they're kind of like 3 layers right here, 1, 2 and 3. So the middle part over here is going to be green in color like this. It is somewhat dark. It's actually dark. It's not somewhat, it is dark. And so now for the eyeball, which is black, everybody knows that. And this eye white over here, just leave it. Okay, now, okay, now for those of you who are doing paper on paper, basically coloring, you should be able to do all this. But for the next step that I'm going to perform, some of you may not, some of you on paper may not be able to do it. Now what I would advise you to do, okay, since you can't really do the next step, you could, I don't know, you could try to use crayons, okay, to kind of like replicate the effect over here. Basically what I'm trying to do right here is the aura. That's why I have this layer. Okay, this layer right here. Now this layer, you're going to place it in the bottom. Okay, basically what you're going to do is simply, okay, before I move on to that, sorry, before I move on to that, I knew something was missing. Alright, now because now I'm not saying that this is applicable for every drawing. Alright, this is, now what you're going to do over here is only applicable if there are some parts over here that are white or basically not filled. Okay, so for example, filled like this, right? So all these parts over here are filled, but what about the toes over here, the claws and whatever, right? Now if you're doing this on paper, I'll recommend you, actually you're kind of already done. This is good enough. If you have this on paper, congratulations, round of applause. But if you're doing this on a device, you want to push yourself a bit more, what you can do is that you can do the aura. Okay, so now for those of you on device, what you need to do is that you need to make the color white, and you have to fill it. Oops. Yeah, I did the wrong layer. Okay, gonna go to this layer. Okay, white. Am I correctly? Yeah, I'm the correct layer. Now if you fill it with white, you should notice that some pixels down here will kind of shrink. Alright, now don't worry, just do it once. Alright, don't have to keep doing it. Okay, yeah, so respond over here. Okay, let's just leave out the eyes first. Alright, now okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna press one. Is in the wrong layer? Yep. Oh yeah, remember I undo it. Okay, so this layer right here, fill, fill. Remember remember, right, the color that you fill, fill. Now because it's white in color, and your canvas is also white in color, what you can do is that instead of making it white, you can try to just make it a bit grayish. Okay, that's what I kind of did with my Charmander drawing. Alright, so I kind of just made it a little bit grayish. Now if you cannot control using the spectrum over here, you can change the number. So for example, we want to be 98. Okay, so it's indistinguishable, but there's still some difference. Alright, so you're going to be using that. So you can see it's kind of grayish, right? Okay, I highly recommend you guys to do this if in case you're experiencing some touch screen or whatever problems, right? Basically, if you're unsure whether or not you are actually clicking it, you can just make it a bit grayish, so that at least you have your points, if your cloth marked down. Right, now for this part, I'm going to do is make it blank. Okay, and so you are done with the drawing. Alright, okay, next, this layer right here, the aura layer. Very simply, what you're gonna do, if you're using this app, congratulations. If not, highly recommend you get it, because this app, especially the ending part of my videos, the pencil pal over here, very important. It kind of looks something like this. Oops. Hold on. Okay, so I have some technical issues. I'll sort it out later. Okay, but basically it kind of looks something like this. Okay, so yeah, if you have any kind of marker that looks something like this, then yeah, that's good enough. Alright, so I'll solve this issue. Okay, I think it's because when I placed it, when I fill it as white, I may have filled the entire thing as white. Alright, if that happens, what you have to do immediately is to undo everything, and yeah, that's kind of a bad thing. Alright, so after trying to find out the error, blah blah blah, so we have this right here. Now, as I was mentioning before, the aura layer right here, we're going to be using the pencil pal. Okay, now the color okay, you've seen the thumbnail, right? The fire kind of effect. It's basically going to be orange in color. Yeah, so basically just try it out. Yep, basically this is what I want, and it's in the aura layer, so that's good. Alright, now of course, if you want, you can try to make it darker, you can try to make it lighter, up to you. So from the drawing that you have right here, you can start off at any point. Actually, just do the outline. Alright, there's no need to do the inside part over here. Just do the outline and it should be all good. Now, a place where I could recommend you guys to start would actually be this point right here. So basically it's kind of like, you know, the mouth breathing out fire, that kind of thing. So yeah, um yeah, very simply just do that, and in the end you should get something like this. Okay, so right here I'm done with the aura. Now, how do you get the black background? It's very simple, alright? So once you're done with the aura, okay, on the same layer, the aura layer, what you're gonna do is you can fill it. Okay, basically you just fill up the remaining spots with whatever color you want. So for in this this drawing, I've chose black. Like of course you can choose any kind of color, or if you want you can just leave it as white. Okay, now for this part over here is quite special. All right, um please, if there's some gap over here like this, fill it with black. All right, so yeah, that's basically it for this video. Now if you're still in the study and watching, then thanks. but if you're but if you're someone who's doing it on paper, then I'm sorry that you're unable to do all this. But this app Sketchbook, it's free and it's almost everywhere, so I would recommend you guys to actually download it. Okay, so yeah, that's it. Okay, now if this video actually helped you to draw Charmeleon, then please like this video and also subscribe to my channel, help it to grow. Next, if you guys have any, you know, questions about for example, you can't get the eyes right or whatever questions, send me your drawing if you want to send me your drawing. But if you want to send me your drawing together with your questions to my Instagram, which is on the screen right now, drawing guidance tutorials. Link is also in the description, so yeah, you don't have to, you know, type it all down. So yeah, um, well, basically right now there's some videos on the screen, I bet. So, you know, um, just click on any one of them. Yep. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.